the brill of it all. Tell me, fairy god babe. Coming to Manhattan in 1980, it was after the 70s in New York, where it was pretty depressing and things were pretty rough. And the depression of the 70s was over. Money was sort of starting to just drip into to New York in the 80s. And out of nowhere came from everywhere people that maybe were not typical of the small towns they came from. And there are many of us that came from different places with tons of energy, with incredible ideas, and all looking to find, in a way, our tribe. Now, in those days, Manhattan provided that for a lot of us. And we took risks and chances because our rents were around $300. So imagine all the time you can have being creative and trying new things and not being afraid of taking a risk when your rent is so low in the major city like Manhattan. Now, Rudolph Pieper, who was a legendary nightclub star, he had clubs throughout Manhattan, and one of them you probably have heard of, the Legend of the Tunnel and the Legend of Quick, or a Pravda, which was open for only one night. Danceteria being a famous club of his. He invented the fabulous 500, the FAB500, which was based on who, out of the thousands of cool people that live in Manhattan in that time, who do you want to really make sure comes to this incredible party? Was it a VIP concept? Absolutely, but not a VIP concept that you could buy a bottle and then become part of. You had to really show who you are, and you had to bring your creativity, or baby, you weren't allowed in. No matter how many bottles you'd want to buy, there were no tables. So you would have to really bring your game, and your game would have to be authenticity. As being part of the Fab 500, we started a lot of things that you're affected by today. Things like self-promotion, doing it right. Famous for being famous was not that was the end all. We need to use famous for being famous to open doors, to create real things that last, that we can take with us through our life. So self-promotion is a tricky thing, and famous for being famous is a tricky thing. But it's a wonderful way of getting exposure and for people to get to know you. But after they get to know you, you have to deliver something. So my tip to you from the Fab 500 is, when you become famous on Insta, and you become famous on Twitter, and you become famous on Facebook and on YouTube, take that famous for being famous, and with those open doors, do something authentic, something that is important to you, something you really want to do, not just fart in a cup and then you get a lot of views, something that really means something to you, and follow that path. The Fab 500 need you to become the Fab Millions, and you're out there, and please, I'm ready to follow you anywhere. Ciao for now.